It should be obvious that making deals with demons is not really a good idea, but sometimes it can actually work out well, like in Henry Selick's newest stop-motion animated film for Netflix, Wendell Wild. With a large cast, we think it's time to figure out who has the strongest bonds and who are on unfriendly terms. Hey guys, I'm Brad with WickedBinge, and this is Wendell Wild Relationships, Healthy to Toxic. Alright folks, major spoilers ahead, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the movie and come right back. Naturally, we're going to be starting with the most stable and loving pairs, familial or platonic. These characters are the healthy. The gold medal of healthiness goes to Kat and her parents. This was a no-brainer, as even if they aren't always on screen together, the love we see from this little family is felt throughout the entire movie. This goes beyond just Delroy and Wilma saving Kat's life though. For one, they love their daughter for who she is, admiring her bravery and not getting angry at her when she makes mistakes.
Now we have loved every single second with you, baby.
This doesn't make them pushovers, as we see them trying to guide Kat into doing the right thing. Kat in turn respects her parents, in addition to having a lot of love for them. Their relationship is sweet, and we really couldn't think of one that could top it. The silver medal of healthiness goes to Raul and Mariana. Yep, we're sticking with families. Though they don't have a lot of screen time, the love they have for each other is obvious. Mariana is a very supportive mother. She allows Raul to do his art, and she's always shown to be supportive of his gender identity, emphasizing to someone over the phone that she has a son. Raul supports his mom just as much, listening to her struggles and even helping her get the witnesses she needs to put away the Klaxons. The bronze medal of healthiness goes to Raul and Kat's parents. It seems only natural to form a friendship with the boy who brought you back to life, letting you see your daughter again. Despite only knowing each other for a day or so, they all quickly form a protective bond with each other.
Now please hurry.
Raul looks after Delroy and Wilma just as often as they try to look out for him. We also get this cute scene of all of them listening to music together. In a way, Raul almost becomes part of their family, which would fit within the friends or family lesson that Delroy and Wilma are trying to teach Kat. Next, we have Siobhan, Sloan, and Sweetie, aka the Poodles, as Kat often calls them. These prep school girls are perky, friendly, welcoming, and seem incredibly close. In the first half of the film, they're always beside each other, and we never see them fight or even squabble. While Siobhan seems to be their group's leader, she doesn't boss the other two, and even ask for their opinion at times when she herself is wondering about something. Unfortunately, Sloan and Sweetie kinda disappear by the end of the movie, after Siobhan goes to confront her parents and team up with Kat. Still, this is more of a slight disappointment than an actual negative. Now we have Kat and Miss Hunter. It's implied that Miss Hunter is Kat's social worker, often being the only one to actually care about Kat's well-being. We see her check up on Kat when Kat has a brief panic attack.
You okay, Kat?
And before she leaves, she gives Kat her dad's old boombox. Though Kat is still a bit sparky towards her, she seems to be the only other adult besides her parents that Kat seems to respect, somewhat. At least until she finally starts to form an understanding with Sister Helly. Next, we have Father Best and the people of his school. Though Best is far from a great or even super moral person, he does put in the effort at his school. He's well respected both by the nuns and the students. We see this in how the kids mourn him when he dies, and then cheer when he comes back to life.
It's got to be a miracle, right?
Which isn't something you see with a lot of animated school principals. He even is willing to give Kat a genuine second chance despite her reputation. Unfortunately, it's his love for his school that begins to corrupt him, as we see that Best is willing to cover up arson and murder in addition to continually working for the Klaxons. He does this in exchange for school funding. He's too blind to realize that he's just sealing the doomed fate of his school and students, who the Klaxons only see as prisoners in the making. While it's good that Best cared about his school, maybe he should have let logic and morality guide his actions instead of love. Now we move into relationships that, while not completely harmful, could still use some work. Welcome to the gray area. Starting off this tier, we have Kat and Sister Helly. They have a rough start. Although Helly is friendly enough towards Kat and tries to protect her when she learns of her hell-mated status, Kat doesn't trust her because of past experiences. There's a friction between them, but for as much as Kat tries to push her away, Helly doesn't stop trying to help her. Eventually, Helly succeeds in this, and they share a beautiful moment together when Helly helps Kat overcome her past.
Only you can do that, Kat!
From here, Kat sees Helly in a new light, and even tries to help her when Helly passes out and gets hurt. With Kat's parents passing away again at the end of the film, it's easy to see Helly forming a motherly relationship with Kat in the future, solidifying their new bond. Next is Wendell and Wild. Right off the bat, we'll say that they don't exactly have much brotherly love going on. Wendell is easily annoyed by Wild and threatens to roughen him up, while Wild is likely just to brush him off. While they aren't the closest brothers, they are excellent business partners.
Hell maidens are real, Wild.
We see throughout the film how well they work off each other and help each other as they enact their plans, whether that's planning their dream fair or pulling off their magician-mortician scheme. Really, even if they aren't too affectionate, they clearly understand each other and don't fight too often, so we felt they still deserve to be on the high end of gray. Following them is Kat and Raul. They have a friendship, though for the most part it seems fairly one-sided. For his side of things, Raul is a pretty great friend. He's a good listener, understanding, and incredibly loyal, even when Kat isn't always treating him in the best way. She even has to be told by her parents to go save him from Wendell and Wild, still struggling to refer to him as a friend. She can be hostile and agitated with him, but it isn't like Kat is a terrible friend or anything like that. She speaks up when Sister Helly finds him in the graveyard so that Raul doesn't get all the blame, and she does warn him not to get too close, telling him that those who do usually get hurt or die. While we wish that Kat would have given a proper apology, we also understand why Raul would choose to stay by her side, and with Kat's personal issues now being lessened, we can easily see them becoming even closer. Next, we have Raul and Siobhan. Before he transitioned, Raul was part of Siobhan's group. It's implied, however, that while he was there, Siobhan was either somewhat controlling or didn't completely approve of who he was, wanting him, at least according to Raul, to be more like her and the other girls. By the time Raul comes out as a boy, their friendship has been pretty much severed, although it's not done too harshly, nor is there any real malice behind it. Raul stands up for Siobhan a little bit when talking to Kat about her, understanding that Siobhan is still much better than her parents. Additionally, while she may not be friends with Raul anymore, there's no bullying on Siobhan's part, and she even apologizes sincerely when she accidentally dead-names him. It's really nice to see two people respecting each other, even if they're unable to be actual friends. Up next, we have Helly and Manberg. There's a lot we don't know about them, other than that they share a past and that they used to go demon hunting together. Helly regrets this past, while Manberg seems to miss it and lightly resents Helly for quitting on him, as well as for stealing from him.
I'll be waiting, Helly.
Though they don't get along perfectly in the present, Manberg at least seems to respect Helly enough to help her save Kat when asked. He's also concerned about Helly when she's injured. Later in the film, they fight together against Klaxkorp's bulldozer, hinting at whatever relationship they had before potentially being a bit more mended now. Now we have Kat and Siobhan. Much like with Kat and Raul, this relationship is one-sided. Though Siobhan is welcoming towards Kat, happily giving her a nickname and inviting her to join her group, this friendliness does seem to come off as annoying and a bit condescending, given that she doesn't seem to actually listen to Kat at first. Kat, meanwhile, is judgy towards Siobhan and the other poodles, though she does save Siobhan's life, even if Kat doesn't want to take credit for it. Even after Siobhan becomes a bit less oblivious and joins in the fight against her parents, we never really saw her and Kat become close friends, basically staying on the level of allies or teammates. But hey, at least Siobhan eventually agreed to stop calling her KK. Now we have Wendell, Wild, and Kat. At first, they only see each other as a means to an end. Kat sees the brothers as a way to get her parents back, while Wendell and Wild only see Kat as their ticket to the land of the living. As such, they don't mind being a bit more manipulative towards Kat, even if it means lying to her or breaking their promise after striking a deal with the Klaxons.
What'd you do, Wild?
Wasn't me, Wendell.
Kat also doesn't have much respect for the brothers, kinda irritated by them. It isn't until Kat and her team help mend the relationship between the brothers and their father that they become more like actual allies. They help out in the final battle and give Raul the last of their hair cream, so they can resurrect the witnesses they need. The brothers also promise Kat that her parents will get a VIP pass to their dream fair once it opens, assuring a happy afterlife for them. With this in mind, it's no wonder why Kat eventually considers them her friends, even if they didn't start out that way. Now we have Kat and Father Best. Well, this took a bit of a turn, huh? As mentioned earlier, things were actually good between Kat and Best at first. Though Kat didn't completely trust him, feeling like he only saw her for the fun she could bring in, Best seemed like he actually wanted to give Kat a second chance at life, not just seeing her as a juvenile criminal. Unfortunately, things started to go downhill after Best died and was brought back to life. He betrayed Kat in two major ways. First, by promising that the Demon Brothers weren't going to bring Kat's parents back to life like they promised. Then, by locking both Kat and Raul up in detention so that they would stay out of his way. What keeps this relationship from falling any lower is that, before Best dies again, it seems like he's going to try and join in on the efforts to take on the Klaxons, realizing he got tricked pretty badly.
He's dead again?
Not the most satisfying redemption, but it feels in line with his character, given that he did seem to truly care about those at his school, for the most part. We finally arrived at the relationships that are pretty awful and very much unhealthy. These relationships are the toxic. First in the tier, we have Buffalo Belzer and his sons, Wendell and Wild. Yeah, any father who uses his sons as prisoners so he doesn't go bald is going to be considered toxic. In fact, if not for the characters stating it outright, you probably wouldn't have guessed that these three are a family. The brothers are annoyed and scared of their father's wrath, while Belzer is pretty dismissive towards his son's dream fair idea. However, Belzer is eventually shown the error of his ways and realizes what an awful father he was, causing him to regret his actions toward not just his sons, but his other demon children as well. Though it's nice to see him make an active change by giving his sons a chance to build their fair, and by sending his soul jockeys to help in the fight against the Klaxons, it doesn't completely erase all the not-so-great aspects of their relationship prior, hence why we felt he deserved this spot in our final tier. The bronze medal of toxicity is going to Kat and the Klaxons. Funny enough, while they are the main hero and villains of the film respectively, we don't see a ton of face-to-face interaction between them, which is our main reason why we couldn't put this relationship any lower. But even without much personal interaction, it's natural that these three seem to just hate each other on principle. With the Klaxons, they see Kat as not just an extension of her parents, who they also hated, but also as a threat to their money-making plans. This all means that they don't have a lot of sympathy for Kat, not caring if she wants to see her parents again, and only caring about how their resurrection would affect them. Kat, meanwhile, sees the Klaxons as the monsters they truly are, and, during the film, becomes more and more determined to stop them once and for all. Obviously, these three aren't gonna see eye to eye anytime soon. The silver medal of toxicity goes to Father Best and the Klaxons. Right off the bat, it's obvious that there's a clear power dynamic at play. Though Best may see the Klaxons as business partners, and as such is always willing to crawl back to them and work with them, even going so far as to cover up their crimes, the Klaxons only see him as a tool for their own gain. And of course, when Best outlives his worth and angers the Klaxons, they don't hesitate to kill him.
What the bloody hell?
That kinda sinks the relationship, but everything that comes before and after is just poison icing on the toxic cake. And finally, our gold medal of toxicity is going to the Klaxon family in general, consisting of Irmgard, Lane, and Siobhan. Like with a lot of evil animated families, it's hard to find the actual love. While Lane and Irmgard may show surface-level affection towards their daughter, this only occurs when they think she's wanting to join in on the family business after discovering the truth about their private prisons. When this is shown not to be the case, as Siobhan is actually disgusted by her parents' behavior, Irmgard absolutely rages at the idea and doesn't even hesitate to sick the bulldozers on Siobhan and the rest of Kat's team.
Crush them!
But even if Irmgard and Lane are both on the same page when it comes to their evil plans, even this falls apart by the end of the film. After getting arrested, Lane tries to pin the blame on his wife, resulting in Irmgard trying to strangle him. A loving husband and wife they are not. Though Siobhan was an unintentional bright spot, this family is still a toxic mess and easily earns its ranking at the very bottom. Alright guys, that's enough toxicity. Let us know in the comments section if you agree, and tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge more of our videos, but most importantly, stay wicked.